The father who liked to play cards and drink alcohol gave birth to an eldest son. To help myself quit drinking, looking for someone to educate themselves. The method taken by Simon Yi, also very direct, that is to teach him how to be a man with a wine bottle. Let him be afraid of the bottle from now on. Compared to Yongming, the second contestant recruited by Simon Yi was much more obedient. Jin Suk has a regeneration and sacrifice skill as a tank, although the muscle value is not high, but at least the upper limit is 80, plus 91 willpower, 81 agility, and 88 stamina. These properties, exactly the agile tank that Coach Sana wanted. Follow the regular recruitment process. Simon Yi asked each other, what do you consider your strengths? Jin Zhenshu is not modest either. Express that you are angry and alive. Simon is happy. Ask him if he wants to come to their club. I thought I would continue to fall. Unexpectedly, Jin Zhenshu agreed without thinking. After all, Simon has cultivated popular heroes. Everybody knows that. At the same time, Dong Jun is still surprised. Why did the boss put that person on the shortlist? Sana looked dumbfounded. What's the problem? Although that contestant has some psychological problems, but the ability value is still good. Speaking of which, Dong Jun looks sad. You don't know his holiday with the boss. That's right. The candidate who worries Dong Jun. It is Shen Yingxiong, who was beaten up by Simon Yi before. After accepting Simon Yi's proposal, by Jihu, they kicked him out of the national team. Annoyed, he spends all day drinking alcohol to relieve his sorrows. However, what he did not know was that, at this time, Simon Yi had already targeted him. To deal with him, Simon Yi is still a big stick and sweet dates. He expressed that, now he has been kicked out of the national team. It won't be long. Your value will plummet. Your reputation will get worse and worse. But he will give him a chance to start over. That is to join his club. Shen Yingshu angered him on the spot. You got me kicked out of the national team. Do you think I will believe you? Simon Yi backhand is a slap. Why don't you talk big or small? Another round of fat beating. Shen Yingshu is completely honest. Simon Yi told him it was okay to have a good relationship with him. All he has to do is say a word on Bai Jihu's side. Can bring the opponent back to the national team. He advised Shen Yingshu but to have other ideas. In times of war, there was once a troublemaker worse than him. Finally, after his training, now he has become a hero of his country. If you want to achieve your dream of becoming a champion, it is the right way to follow yourself honestly. After saying this, Simon Yi threw the other party a name card and left. However, when Shen Yingshu returned home, his father let him join the YSF directly. He asked his father in surprise, "Don't you hate Simon Knight and that white step-tigger? Haven't you always been feuding?" The father said earnestly, "How can I hate a hero who saves the world? The reason why we oppose the white tiger, I just don't want to see." The hero who saved the world was scolded. As a coach, the ability of the white tiger is indeed questionable. But if Simon Yi can get through him, intervention with the national team, I am very welcome. And now the YSM club has Coach Sana. This is a god that the national team couldn't even invite. Shen Yingshu is fierce, but Simon Yi hates me very much. You send me to YSM. Aren't you afraid of the future? Father smiled, you know. At that time, Shulan and Corsa also had a bad relationship with her. But in the end, they still captured the last underground city together. She even gave her life for it. The pattern of Simon Knight is much bigger than you think. Join YSM. I believe it won't be long. You will complete the transformation. Been busy for 2.5 weeks. Only 3 players were recruited. 2 of the ones who meowed back to him were problem teenagers. Sana is losing sight of her boss, especially that Yongming. I really don't see any advantages in the other party. Actually, it's not Sana's fault. The S system can only measure the real-time data of the players. Can't see their ceiling at all. Simon Yi asked him to be patient. After all, the other party has been decadent for a year. It takes time to recover. But then again, these players are still a bit short. Simon Yi has no choice. Now a potential player in the country has been taken away, and some have already been finalized. There's no way to start. Sana let her have nothing to do and go abroad to sea. After all, during the war, allowing 5 foreign helpers come home after a busy day. It turned out that Bai Xiaoyong was back. After this period of experience, Bai Xiaoyong's various attributes have been improved. It seems that the braised egg brothers are very useful for cultivating Bai Xiaoyong, still working hard. What surprised Simon Yi even more was that Bai Xiaoyong's leadership and tactical growth are both very high. It seems that he's quite suitable to be the captain. Just then, the white tiger suddenly came back. Simon Yi, who hasn't had time to put away his skills, bladder glances at each other. Leadership 51, tactic 60 to Westgate Knight is completely speechless. No wonder the national team was trained like this by him. Emotions happen for a reason. He let out a big sigh. Let Bai Jihu not work so hard in the future, because he knows he's done his best. Bai Jihu was confused when he was said. Then the crowd was eating. Mention the matter of Simon Knight recruiting contestants. White Tiger told him, if you want to find foreign aid, you can go to Country Tea to take a look. Hear, hear. Bai Xiaoyong looked excited. She said that if Uncle is going to Country Tea, she followed. And I heard that the extraordinary people in Country Tea are all fans of Uncle. There are long guns, up to 70%. Xie Yan's words made Simon Yi feel good, immediately agreed to the request to take her to country tea. Here, by Ji whose heart is cold. Is Xiaoyu going to let herself stay and watch the house again this time? Then take your wife and kids out. Xie Yan told her not to worry. This time she's going to be alone with her uncle, and that's it. The two took a plane to country tea and just left the airport. Simon Yi found someone picking her up. Timur, the extraordinary person who once fought with Simon Yi, although it was not included in the 7 heroes in the end. But strength is also in the top 20 existences. Simon Yi didn't expect the other party to pick her up in person. Timur says, I saw it on the news, and now she's the president of the association in country tea. He also runs a club. After hearing that Simon Yi is going to select foreign players, she immediately invited her. Go to your own club and pick it out first. Simon Yi did not refuse. Then he followed her to the club. However, just as they arrived at the club gate, a gunlight suddenly shot out. Simon Yi ducked quickly, but the next second, a graceful figure rushed up. A few flashes. Simon Yi looked at it from a distance. A girl with long hair. You are Simon Yi, right? I am Sanya. Can you practice with me? What makes men only look at women once? Immediately express firmly. I will definitely be responsible for her to the end. It is said that Simon Yi just came to country tea. He was ambushed by a young girl. Before she could react, the other party's head was beaten out by Timur. It turns out that this woman named Sanya, it's Timur's daughter. Here. Simon Yi was stunned. Are you sure you did a personal identification? Timur told her not to make a fuss. Even a white tiger can give birth to that kind of daughter. Why not yourself? Simon Knight looked at Sanya in disbelief. After activating the analytical eye, she was stunned. Sanya's attributes have grown surprisingly high, and what's even more perverted is her muscle strengthening skills. It can actually increase muscle mass by 40%. Simon Yi took a deep breath. Among the women she knows, this woman's attributes are second only to Shulan's talent. She has completely surpassed Xie Yan's potential. If it can be fully bloomed, you can be with inner alchemy, side by side with a monster player like Kitch. She stepped forward and asked what the other party's main location was. Sanya replied that it was a tank. Simon Yi looked at the ligature marks on his crotch with a smile. I heard you wanted to fight me. Then get your gear. Then the two enter the virtual cabins separately, came to the arena, same as Simon Knight. The weapons Sanya used were also guns and shields. The moment you see the other person pout their buttocks, Simon Yi saw his own shadow in a trance. Sanya roared. The spear in his hand was thrown abruptly. In the blink of an eye, it is already close to the face of Simon Yi. He turned his head slightly. The spear brushed past. With the blow just now, Simon Yi deduced that the other party used muscle strengthening. His current muscle value is 72. After using the skill, it has been upgraded to 101. This ability value is even if there is no throwing skill strong enough. Just then, Sanya charges again. The spear kept waving in her hand. Simon Yi dodges and analyzes. The upper limit of the opponent's muscle value is 87. After using muscle strengthening, it can be directly increased to 12. This value completely exceeded Simon Yi's expectations, and the opponent's melee strength is also good. After a brief evaluation of Sanya, Simon Yi launched a counterattack. The moment you stop the spear, Simon Yi quickly swoops towards the ligature mark position. The spear in my hand is like a smart comber. Quickly draw towards the position of the opponent's twin peaks. Sanya exclaimed. Quickly twist your body to distance yourself from it. He didn't choose to block, but to hide back. It seems that the control of the shield is not skilled enough. That's right, because the tank has to absorb damage. Therefore, compared to weapons, the average person is better at using shields. However, Simon Knight used the shield for 2 reasons. First, it is based on its own excellent technical ability to anticipate an attack, to block all damage. The second reason, out of an objective perception of oneself. He knows, although he is more agile than other tanks, but the strength is slightly insufficient. In other words, Simon Yi's weapon matching is not the most perfect, but it's the best fit for him. However, this style is not suitable for Sanya. The opponent's muscle value is very high. As long as you improve shield proficiency, it's a pretty good tank, but his agility and speed are also high. It's a pity to wear heavy clothing. Continue with the current style. It's a waste of such a good skill as muscle strengthening. Think of this. Simon Yi was also torn. It's time to let him continue to be a tank, or train him to be an attacker. But, let's settle this battle for now. Simon Knight figure flashing. Attack the opponent quickly. The spear in his hand was pumped down. This time Sanya has made defensive preparations in advance. He's bound to use the shield in his hand. Block Simon Yi's fatal blow. However, he still underestimated the opponent's strength. Under the spear draw, the shield was instantly sent flying. Simon Yi's stout big hand went straight towards the twin peaks. Sanya was caught off guard. The whole person was pinned to the ground. The smoke cleared. Simon Yi's fist stopped in front of the face, and he was only circumcised. Looking at the proud twin peaks lying on the ground, Simon Yi smiled with evil charm. Final strike. I put water. Game over. Simon Knight is very interested in Sanya's performance. He asked about the opponent's fighting style. Did his father teach him? Sanya expressed his great strength, so his father made him a tank. And Simon Knight is the idol of all tanks. That's why he has his current fighting style. Simon Yi was speechless. Use your own shield and spear to spread the force to the sides, so as to prepare for evasion and counterattack at any time. Sanya's muscle count is very high. Excessive force when using shields lead to inflexibility, difficult to switch quickly. She said that the current style is not suitable for the other party. Want to take full advantage of? Give up the shield. Switch to dual guns for melee output. However, Simon Yi's words were not finished. Sanya turned her head directly and said she didn't want to. Simon Yi's temper suddenly came up. Some people don't listen to their own words. Timothy saw this and hurried forward to tell her to calm down. I spent 2.5 years with Simon Yi. She knows her temper too well. She asked Simon Yi to calm down. The reason why my daughter rejected her, it's because she doesn't understand women's hearts. You know, she's her daughter's idol. Use the same equipment as your idol. It was her life's pursuit. Simon Yi kicked it directly. IF asterisk sking me out. Why haven't you seen any icon carrying a basketball all day? Timur looked at Simon Yi with grievance. This kid has been using you as a role model for more than 10 years. Please don't hurt her feelings. Here. Simon Yi was stunned. Only 10 years. There is such a high ability value. This is like my super seed. She went forward with excitement and grabbed Sanya's shoulder. Sanya, I will be responsible for you. Do you want to go to the country with me? Zia Yan behind him looked panicked. 2 women, 6 holes. How does a combo work?